And as we're coming into the port of New York, it's still dark. So I went up on the deck and couldn't help but take a few more pictures of us passing directly in front of the Statue of Liberty. Awesome way to come into a port. And of course, after I had a couple of shots of this, my last Cuervo Rancheros for the trip. Yep, I'll miss that. So this is a little recap on some of the stuff that I liked and some of the stuff I didn't like on the Venezia. Of course, there's more stuff that we liked, but we're going to get the stuff that we didn't like out of the way first. So some of the stuff I didn't care for is this. The first thing that I would change if we were to do this over again was the place we stayed at. We stayed over in Weehawken, which is on this side of the river. And if you saw the video, it took us about $160 to take a taxi over to Weehawken from LaGuardia Airport. And then whenever it was time to go on the cruise, we had to go back through the Lincoln Tunnel and back over to the cruise terminal. Well, that was another $100 and some odd. It took us probably an hour and a half to get to Weehawken to go this 1 mile across the river. That took us an hour and 15 minutes. So the traffic was jam-packed. Everywhere around the cruise terminal is solid cars along these streets. So the first thing I would do is probably stay closer to the cruise terminal. They have these 3 hotels. That would be an excellent choice. The Holiday Inn, that would probably be the first one I would stay at. That's a national chain, and it's fairly cheap. And if you go down just a block, you're right at the cruise terminal. And also, if you go to the cruise terminal, no matter where you're staying at, probably the place that I would get dropped off at is at the Glass House. That's this hotel right here. And the address is 12th Avenue and West 48th Street. That's where a lot of people were getting dropped off at to start their cruise, because there was no cars parked right here. In order to get to the cruise terminal, which is right here, you had to go down a good ways, make a U-turn, come back, and where this gate is actually where you got dropped off at. One of these 3 decks. The top deck went to a parking garage. We didn't go up there. But whenever you got inside, you could start checking in with everything there. The next thing that would probably be a good time saver is whenever we got off of the cruise. Whenever that we got off of the cruise, we came out, and if you drop the little man down here on the street, you'll see that there's a taxi stand right here. This is a taxi stand. So whenever that we got dropped off here, the taxis were lined up, taking people away. But if you went down a little ways further, if you come down the street and go down this 1 block, whenever that we were getting an Uber is what we were taking, and this is where that the Inc. 48 hotel is, right here. Whenever that we were catching the Uber was $60 cheaper to move over 1 block. So we walked down and caught the Uber from this area and saved $60. It's a nice quick walk, that 1 block, and you're out of all the massive traffic that's at the cruise ship terminal and right in front of the hotel. So that helped out a little bit more. Some of the stuff I did like was the food. The food was excellent. Of course, they have the Italian flair, where that things are given an Italian name, but yeah, it would be like short ribs, but it was given an Italian name that I couldn't pronounce. But the food was good. Service, also good. Probably tops as far as service. Like I said, we had anytime dining. We had 5 people waiting on us. But of course, we were there at 5 o'clock when anytime dining opened. So the 5 people had nothing else to do but wait on us. So service was excellent at the dining rooms. Overall, the ship was in good condition. It's a brand new ship. Looks like it was made for cold weather. It had the sliding roof on the top, which was perfectly good for this location because in New York it was cold, so they had the roof closed. But as we got further in the Caribbean, the roof opened up and let the sunshine in and the heat come in. So the sliding roof is a plus. But like I say, this is probably a cold weather ship. As far as prices for this cruise, it was cheap. We got an 11-day cruise on the Venezia out of New York for $1,827. This is for 2 people for an ocean view room. And we had a category 6L was our category. So it's a lower level room. It was on the first floor, but it was an ocean view, but it was only a little over $1,800 for 2 people. So $900 a person. So fairly reasonably priced cruise. To get this rate on the cruise, you need to book early. So we usually book as soon as the cruise comes out. Right now, it's getting close to 2024. And we have all of our cruises for 2024 booked already. So you'll see those coming up in the days ahead. But as soon as they announce them, right now we will start booking before long cruises for 2025. As they announce the cruises, we'll find something that we like and start booking it. So we're booking a year or sometimes 2 years ahead of the actual cruise. That's the cheapest rate. As the cruise gets closer, the rates go up. As the ships fill up, the rates go up. Every occasion, there's a price drop on the cruises. But seeing you're booking the cruise so far in advance, you're getting from Carnival what's called price protection. So if the cruise drops, you just call them up and tell them, hey, the cruise that I have booked has dropped. I would like the difference back. And they could either, if it's before the final payment, they'll just drop it off the price. If it's after final payment, sometimes you can get the difference in onboard credit. So we have been on cruises where that we've got $500 of onboard credit just from a price drop. The other thing you'll want to do when booking your cruise is make sure kids are in the school. Believe it or not, Carnival is great for kids. And whenever that they're out of school, the prices go up. You'll very rarely see us cruising in the summertime because the prices are so high. October, November, and the first part of December are cheap. But then you get into like January, February, March. Those times are cheap also. But if the kids are out of school or it's a holiday, the prices go sky high. So we don't go on any of those days. If you watch this far into the video, you must be interested in taking a cruise. And if so, remember the prices that I gave you are the total price, the $1,827. That's the price for 2 people, including port charges, but not including other things like gratuity, shore excursions, Wi-Fi, specialty restaurants. That's going to be extra. But if you want to save a few dollars, there's another video that I made with buying AARP gift cards. You could buy these at any age and save an additional 10%. So using the figures I just gave you, $1,800 cruise, you could save an additional $180 just by paying with gift cards. And you could do that. And buy your shore excursions and everything else. So you could save a couple $100 easily. If you would, just follow this video right here. And it'll take you to the previous video.